Time for soccer to go in session. And for this go-around, as we take a look at the college ranks, we head down to Albany at Albany State and catch up with the head women's coach down there with the Rams. It is Jared Beauchamp. Coach, thanks for dropping by and going Soccer's in Session with us here at STH.
Thanks for having me.
So when you look back at last year, the question that I like to ask coaches, regardless of where they are and heading into their 2024 season, the biggest lesson that you can carry with you from the 2023 season that you've brought forward to the 2024 season would have been what, you think?
Just kind of finishing out the games. We had a bunch of injuries last year, a bunch of stuff that, you can't control. So having a young team, having those players kind of step up and, no matter what's going on, you kind of finishing out the game.
You look at your roster this year, and you mentioned young. You are still very young. There's a lot of the in the parentheses, if you were to do that, there's a lot of FRs there, and there's some SOs there as well. What's it like having a young team heading into 2024?
It's definitely challenging. We just have to have our limited upperclassmen kind of step up and help them develop a lot quicker than they might need to.
When you look at your roster, most of it is Southeast. There's a lot of Georgia and Florida that's there. There are some mixes from states that are west of the Mississippi. When it comes to bringing in talent to the program there at Albany State, what is recruiting like these days? And you sitting there, what are the calling cards to come in and be a part of what the Rams are building?
I mean, we do have a lot of good talent here in the state of Georgia and Florida, especially South Georgia being so close to Florida. We can kind of dip our toes in their kind of recruiting area. But, with us being a young team, there's a lot of chances to get early minutes and everything and, develop with those minutes.
When you look at your schedule before you get into conference play, I know that sometimes you like to challenge yourself and tell yourselves and tell your team, tell the staff and everybody that season one, your non-conference schedule, gets you ready for season two, your conference schedule, and that's where you want to make your hay. For someone who hasn't seen football in your classification and everything there with Albany State, how would you break down how tough it can be sometimes playing in that part of the world that you're playing in right now?
Yeah, I mean, Peach Belt Conference is probably one of the tougher conferences in the nation. So, having 2 games a week, playing Wednesday, Saturday, it can kind of be tolling both physically and emotionally on the players and stuff. So having a good preseason, getting them ready, having a good non-conference slate. That way they, once when we do hit that conference schedule, the girls are already kind of adapted, already in form and ready to go versus those tough teams in the Peach Belt.
Yeah, you're looking at AUM, and AUM has been an NAIA power in the southern states from the time that I was covering them. You're looking at Middle Georgia and traveling to Cochran. It's shorter, and it's Allen, it's Trinity Baptist, and then you're looking at Clayton State, Southern Wesleyan that I know once again from my time in the NAIA. When you're looking for non-conference opponents, I know that you want to keep it regional just so you can kind of keep an eye on the rest of the state, and you can also, maybe look out the side eye and sit there and go, okay, I can do some recruiting here as well with the high school talent that's on hand. How difficult is it to put together a non-conference schedule, or because of all of these programs that are so regional, you can kind of plug and play and look for those opponents that you're looking for in your non-conference?
We have a lot of solid teams down here in the Florida, Georgia area, even Alabama. So it's pretty easy to find a good quality non-conference team to either travel to or to have them come and play us. So the coaches around here also do a good job with the home and away to kind of make it work with everyone being on that tight budget as well. So
No doubt about that. Jared Beauchamp, head women's coach at Albany State with the Golden Rams as they get ready for their season here as soccer's in session on the SDH Network. For someone who hasn't seen you play, I guess this would be the match game version of the interview. For someone who hasn't seen you play there, how would you describe how you are philosophically, formationally, until the ball is then kicked and the whistle blows, and then, formations are kind of a loose construct. But when it comes to your philosophy out there with Albany State and the Golden Rams, how would you describe how you like things to be out there for you offensively and defensively?
Defensively, we want to just kind of keep our shape, be disciplined, and make sure, we're not doing individual defending. We're kind of working together, cutting off the field. When we press as a team and everything. And the big thing for me is that transition play. So, when we do get those turnovers, can we transition quickly from defense to offense? Can we hit them quickly on the counter? If not, then, we kind of calm things down and can kind of work the ball around a bit.
When it comes to playing at home and knowing that the sport in itself is growing on the high school ranks in the state of Georgia and the college ranks, regardless of division, D1, D2, and AIA, D3, et cetera, how would you describe the fan support that you have down there at the ASU Soccer Complex? How would you describe how the sport has been growing since you've seen it there with your time at Albany State? How would you describe how Albany State is a part of the fabric of what's growing down there in Southwest Georgia?
It's definitely been developing a lot. We have Sweegans during the summer on the men's side that I help coach. We had the Albany Aces, which was an indoor professional team. So not only in South Georgia, but Albany in general, soccer is definitely developing. I try to get my girls out. We help out with UFA, a local club system in South Georgia. We work with the Boys and Girls Club as well with some soccer clinics to try to get out in that community and kind of keep on developing the soccer down here.
What is it like for you to see your players get engaged in the local soccer community? I know that when you're recruiting, you're looking for a specific kind of individual to help represent the Golden Rams as a program. But when you get to see them be a part of what's going on and they get to participate and they get to give back in their own way, what's it like for you and the staff and the university, really, and the athletic program to sit there and see your players invest in what's going on down there?
I mean, it's great. I think it kind of helps our players, feel proud of the program, about the school as well. They're a little timid at the beginning, but, once when those kids, kind of warm up to them, and react with them, they kind of get that joy out of helping them and kind of seeing them. And then, later on, you see them later at the games, and, just those little things, interacting with the kids in the community and stuff. I think it kind of brings our community together along with ASU and representing what we want to do here for this program.
So then what do you want to do representing that program? I know that I kind of just pounced that question on you, but I mean, it's like, so when you look to continue to build and grow what you're trying to build there, what are you looking to do to continue to add to the foundation and add to those building blocks that you're creating?
Yeah, I mean, I want that connection with my program, with, representing ASU well on and off the field. So, not only just the soccer side of things that, people know us in the community as going out and helping out and kind of representing and having the kids kind of look up to these girls and everything, and hopefully strive to be one day.
When someone walks in the door for the first time, whether it's looking at you going up against AUM, whether it's being there in Bleckley County to see what's going on at Cochran, going up against Middle Georgia, hanging back and seeing what's going to go on this weekend with Shorter in the schedule. First off, who would be some of those folks on your roster that folks walking in the door would gravitate toward to sit there? And it's like, okay, so if you and I are calling the game on television, we end up doing the introduction. You're next to me. It's like, okay, so who should folks focus on for Albany State? Who should folks focus on this season early on anyway when it comes to your starting 11 and your 18?
So with my girls coming in, I probably have to say two of my captains would probably be the ones, just their kind of leadership on the field. Riley and Norma would definitely be someone that coming in, they kind of represent what we want to do on and off the field there.
So for those freshmen that you've brought in, who are you looking at? Who has surprised you? Have there been any pleasant surprises with the players coming into the program in their first year? Who've kind of electrified you early on, but as you're getting ready for the season to start?
Yeah, there's a couple that coming in I knew would be good players that would help the program. There's still some things they can be doing to kind of better themselves, but there's been a couple that I would say kind of surprised what they more than what I thought they had. So my goalkeeper freshman coming in, she's done really well, both in the training and in the scrimmages. I have a midfielder that has done really well, is starting to understand the system a little bit better from our first scrimmage to where we are now as well. So
3 matches in 6 days, as you and I are talking. How difficult is that going to be? I mean, it'll be an early test for you to figure out, okay, I need so-and-so can give me, my freshman can give me 45. This, freshman can give me 60. I know somebody who can give me 90. You've got to balance that out early on here in the season. How much of a challenge are you foreseeing that being with these 3 matches in 6 days? 2 of them, though, at home, but you've got that one on the weekend in Cochrane. How difficult a challenge do you foresee this? Or is it just something where you're going to gauge? It's like, okay, I know I can get this out of this player. I know I can get this out of this player. And you're kind of having your roster open up for this first week of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of seeing what we have in the tank and everything. We'll have to manage some minutes, definitely in training throughout the week as well. Tighter games, we might kind of have a shorter bench. Then if something opens up where we can get some girls some rest and everything. So all those sort of things will kind of play into it a bit.
Well, we are looking forward to it. How much studying have you been able to do of these first 3 matches in a week, or is it pretty much let me get through this first one and then I can get to the second one and cram for that test? How are you looking at this first week?
We got a lot of work done during preseason, so I have a pretty good idea. Got a lot of people their reps. Now it's gonna kind of see who can kind of empty out the tank the next couple of days with it, and see who can be playing those 90 minutes, without altering times and everything and giving everyone their dues.
Okay, so formationally, how are you going to line up when that whistle blows against the Warhawks?
4-1-4-1.
Okay, and then defensively, do you shift into something else after the 4-1-4-1, or is it how do you go back defensively if you're having to fight off a turnover?
We'll tweak some stuff here and there depending on who we're playing.
Okay, all right. So, spoken like a true coach. Very well done, Coach. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for giving us the introduction to what Albany State and the Golden Rams are doing this season as you're getting ready for literally the beginning of everything. You are racing out the door for that first match, hanging out with us. Thanks for doing Soccer's in Session. We'll keep an eye on you this season, both with what's going on down there in Albany and in the Peach Belt. Thanks for dropping by. We'll be keeping an eye and catch up with you soon.
All right. Thank you for having me.